The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
The aftermath of every social revolution brings about change. Cultural norms and landmarks shift as our minds and hearts expand beyond the familiar. To everything, there is a season and a time to every purpose in the land of the living. This is our time to renew, revive, and restore the hope lost to the busyness of life. This is our time to dig again and rebuild from the storms of our past on a solid footing that holds. Welcome to The Foundation.
The Foundation. The
Foundation with Hart Grant is brought to you by Alive, Burger King, Commonwealth Bank, Easy Car Sales, Grand Bahama News, Janae's Uniform Center, Kelly's Home Center, the Ministry of Social Services, Popeyes, Print Masters, Ron's Electric Motors, and the Water and Sewage Corporation.
The Foundation. The Foundation. The Foundation. Foundation.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant and your company, The Foundation, live and in full effect on this beautiful, gorgeous, lovely day. My God, we live in. Oh, God, you may not have a couple dollars in your pocket. You may not have what you want to have, but you're here. So you got an opportunity to be able to make some things happen. Guys, grateful to be in your company all the time. I am truly grateful to be able to jam with you on a day-to-day basis like this. Grateful that you let me into your spaces, and hopefully we're making an impact together, being able to change this country. We see some things happening, and we're going to continue to be able to talk about that. The line's going to be wide open today. I want you to join me in conversation, sort of a free line, free-range conversation. If you want to be able to do that, we can do that. But I got to shout out my good, decent people over at AFS Insurance Agency Brokers. They got everything laid out for you. Make sure you go and check them out. Check them out. They are located number 407 Blue Hill Road South. They got everything laid out. If you go down there and check them out, if you're sort of in the market for insurance and you're looking for that thing to be taken care of, your car insurance, you know, residential, commercial, any of those things that you're looking for, you can be able to call 341-1AFS, 341-1AFS, and they can take care of you. Mr. Richardson or my good friend, Ethric Bow, will be more than happy to assist you in those areas. Got to shout out my good, decent friend, Avery Lightbourne. Avery Lightbourne, I'm looking for you to be able to come sit with me, my brother. You know, he's talking to us about the MST bar, so they got everything laid out, and I'm looking forward to being able to hear more from him, more about him as we do those things. So got to be able to shout out to him. Hopefully we can be able to hear from him on Small Business Thursday. Guys, this is the Christmas time. I had a conversation yesterday, and, you know, the gentleman says to me, why do you all jump over Thanksgiving? It's Thanksgiving season. I said, did you go to the major stores lately? Everything is decked in Christmas cheer. There's no pumpkins anywhere. There's no autumn colors. There's no transitional period. It goes Halloween, Christmas in this country. I mean, they supersede significantly Thanksgiving, and they look forward to one thing. Maybe they get a good plate, a good, hefty, heavy plate that they can be able to get some peas and rice, some yam, some crab salad, piece of macaroni, ham, this, that, all these things like that. Yeah. We give God praise for that. However, the kind of camaraderie, the community, the getting together, so forth and so on, I don't think that that's actually done far and wide. So nonetheless, it is Christmas time. I don't know how you view that. I got a couple calls that says, Howard, are we looking to do something? Because they know they want to be able to get themselves exposed and let persons know exactly what they're doing. If you are in that kind of a space and you're contemplating and you just spend $15,000, $25,000, $100,000 on products and you want to be able to service your demographic, whatever that is, whatever this product is that you have. I know that a lot of persons have made significant modifications over the years and really placed a lot of emphasis on this sort of an idea of being able to go to Mark Zuckerberg's, internet is meta thing, is Facebook. I know a lot of persons have actually pushed themselves in that direction and, cling to this idea of being able to do it on social media, cling to this idea of being able to do it on your WhatsApp, and you're hoping to God that 100,000 people could walk in there from the 68 people that you send it to on your telephone. Let's just be decent, okay? Stop it. Let people know where your products are, what you do, so forth and so on. It ain't gonna be Howard Show. It don't got to be Howard Show. I would like it to be. I'm not gonna fight you. However, you got to get on a media platform to talk about it. Now, I know that the country is moving significantly, but given the fact that this is sort of a modified approach that we see to this quote-unquote progression, okay? This modified approach that we see to progression. So you still got this, it's a blend, it's a healthy blend between the traditional and the social media, okay? So make sure you cover all spaces, because everybody, all the older demographic, if you have those products, they're not going on your social media to look at your things. They're not going to do that. Word of mouth is still strong. And Guardian has a great deal, Guardian newspaper itself has great deals offered to you for the Christmas time. So please give us a call, 302-2300, 302-2300. We can be able to put something together for you. And if you want to do something special with Howard Grant, you can be able to give us a call here at 302-2300 or call me directly so I can be able to tell you what we have available in those particular slots. So I don't want to hear from you. Guys, I want to see some remotes being done. I want to see some things get done. If you're considering it, we'd love to be able to accommodate you and be a beautiful thing that we're doing that. And I'm grateful to kind of be in your company to talk about that, right? Now, I got to be able to tell you the blast of the past. Now, you know that we're doing this week. Friday will be the last week that we're going to be able to pull that name out of the box, and you can find yourself winning $180 cold cash for the weekend, for whatever you need to do, whether it's important, whether it's casual. You get $180 cold cash as we continue to be able to celebrate 180 years, our 180th year here at the Nassau Guardian, for being able to provide you with news, with reliable news, with being able to give you a sense of consistency, and always ensuring that we raise the bar socially and telling persons what we can do and how they can be able to see these things locally. So we will always provide that information to you, right? 180 years, 18 decades we've been here. And on Monday, we're going to be able to have a little something out front. And so all the shows are going to be from on the outside as we do it out in the out front and do those things. And if you're not one of those persons that pick up your newspaper and see exactly what's what, as we celebrate our 180 years, every day we do a blast from the past, right? So the general strike in 1958, this paper is actually marked Monday, January 13th. Was it 13th? I can't see this properly. I need some light, Dwight. I'm not going to fight you, right? Monday, January, was that the 13th? I think it's the 13th, 1958. This is the general strike information. All this is here. And it says that fresh off the record of 194,000 visitors for 1957, and on the 12th day of the new year, 1958, this is the 12th day of the new year, we began a long-running dispute between the primarily Black Bahamas taxi cab union and the white-owned tour companies that's escalated into the unprecedented, widespread general. This is great keepsakes for you guys. If you want to be able to find this out and put this in there when you're adding to your conversation for your kids, them who's going to be doing some, they got a little project on it in school and stuff like that. This is great information. It's right here at the Nassau Guardian. This is from 1958. 1958, strike hits. And then it talked about the violence reported, the economy threatened. The secrecy covers official policies. It talks about these particular things. And then thousands jam meeting as governor lambasted, right? This is good stuff, man. You guys, Pick up your Guardian newspaper at any one of your favorite outlets, the most convenient outlet for you to be able to have these kind of conversations and see exactly what's what. And today, you're going to be able to see in the paper, the CCA puts up Bahamas Hotel as security. This is good. Move made to stay enforcement of judgment made in Ismailians' favor, right? And a juvenile court open by year's end. This is what the AG says. Immigration director, government has not limited tourist days to 30 days. That's summation that we saw. And then Henfield says the government must do more to help struggling Bahamians. This is Darren Henfield, former Minister of Foreign Affairs in the Free National Movement's regime. So you can be able to see that, right? And Jonquil Jones, she's been trending lately in social media. We got to be able to give her accolades and say kudos to her and all that she does for the nation, for the country, and being able to step out on such a mammoth scale. And we knew that this was coming for her. We can see it, just like we can see the victory, waiting in the wings for Buddy Hield, right? We got to be able to commend you. We got to commend Buddy Hield. We got to commend all those particular persons, even Clay Thompson has Bahamian roots, and all those persons doing great things abroad. And congratulations to Jonquil. She is from West Grand, Bahama. And so, I got to be able to say something nice about her. She is, not that I got to say something nice about her, but she's been doing tremendous over the years and really dominating the WNBA and being able to do those things. So she got an MVP. They got the victory and find themselves in this, celebrating, coming back home to be able to introduce you to the ones that she loves. This is heavy stuff. This is heavy stuff. I listened to a voice note, and the voice note went around, started to talk about Jonquil Jones, the choices that she's made, right? Whilst we want to celebrate her for, celebrate a portion of her for her being able to get on the court, to hoist the Bahamian flag, to do all these particular things, to always not just, keep our language intact and be able to speak with sort of the emphasis and the effort of who we are as a people. So you could hear our colloquialism coming through on your screens. And so you hear this and you understand that this is familiar. And so whilst we celebrate her for that, she comes home and she wants to introduce you to someone that she fell in love with, a woman, her fiance, that's what she says. And I listened to the voice note. Let me tell you something. Y'all Bahamian people need to stop. I just want to say this. Y'all just say anything on these telephones. Anything. I'm not going to fight you. I'm simply saying, just when you press, you think you're in the room by yourself, but when you let that go to everyone, we can hear that. We can hear you. We can hear the indecency that exists in you as your mother continues to cringe and can't believe that she take all her time to send you to church to be decent, and your indecency shows through. It shines through, bleeds through on a day-to-day basis. So we're listening to that and listening to Jonquil's story, and Jonquil says, take all of me. You don't take some of me. And I think that we've stepped over that kind of division that existed at one point where, the reporter says that, what's his name? LeBron James just shut up and dribble. I think we've stepped over that stage. I think that this sort of, this era that we live in, where stars and those who have critical acclaim are being followed, I think that we find ourselves in this kind of a position where they want to let you into their lives. They want to let you into their personal lives. One time ago, this had nothing to do with nothing. We didn't need to know who your children was. It was a bonus if we found out, but our concern was not your children. Our concern was you. Unless you introduce your children, like Joan Rivers and other persons, into this official space, we didn't necessarily need to know your children. We needed to know the talent that was at the forefront, but things have shifted. And that's why people keep saying that there's an agenda afoot, because the objective is basketball. You play in basketball, but you seek to be able to tell us about, for the many persons who've taken on this kind of a position to talk about support Kamala Harris or support Donald Trump, and using their stardom, their influence to be able to pull people over in different spaces. We've seen that. That's what it's for. That's what you're using it for. You're using your stardom, your posture, your position, your elevation. this kind of a paramount that you stand on, you're using that to influence others to move in the direction that you are persuaded, you are convinced, or you are paid to say, move in this direction. You are. And that is why people put an agenda on this. That is why people put an agenda on this. They say to you, we didn't ask you all this other stuff. All we asked you and all we seek to celebrate you for is what you did in this particular space. I don't know. I mean, I still have conservative values. I still have Christian values. I still cling strong to my faith base. And I'm not naive to believe that everyone's straight and everyone, attaches themselves to those particular values. But the question that I have is that, are we a society that's taken on this sort of an idea? Are we a society that has viewed this, accepted this, opened our arms to this, and said, hey, listen, love who you love? Yeah. I think from a legislative standpoint, I think historically, as we identify these things, we were not naive to the fact that this existed in our society. However, there was a veil. There was a veil that you step over that threshold into the wider society, that you left that stuff at home, that you kept that close, that this was not necessarily a shame, but this was not something that you introduced, if only for the sake of the kids. Now things are changing. Now, in the United States of America, more specifically with 350-some million people, there are places that you can be able to, your children can act straight home all the time. And when they go to school, they speak to the guidance counselor and say to the guidance counselor, I think I want to be a girl if they're a boy. I think I want to be a boy if they're a girl. I think I'm attracted to the same sex. And that information never travels home to the parent. Isn't this crazy? Isn't this crazy what's happening in this world? That the guidance counselor and the child can be able to have this sort of a relationship with closed information about it. It's between you and I. But these children are still minors. Now, if they did something, they pulled a fire alarm, they brought a knife to school, they said something they shouldn't say, everything goes to the parent. But if these children decided that they want to be able to view something so sacred and so personal, from a sexual standpoint, if they view themselves in a particular light, this information stays with it. This is why people keep screaming, this has to be an agenda. Why is there no transparency? Why is there no transparency? Why does it feel like you're pushing this down our throats? Why? If you're going to be out in the open, be out in the open with everything. You should not conceal certain things and then say, okay, be selective in your view and how we do these things. So we're talking today. If you want to be able to join the conversation, we can talk a little bit about Jonquel Jones in her particular capacity. I can't diss her. She's my cousin. I might as well tell you that. Buddy is my cousin through Turks Island, and Jonquel is my cousin through 8 Mile Rock, my grandmother. The Wild Goose and the Joneses are our family. So she's my cousin. So I ain't going against her, but there's sort of an idea. Is this an agenda? Is there an overarching agenda, an objective? Is this what was sought to be brought in? This sort of a devil, quote unquote, that persons have been able to speak of, if the Democrats win, that it was all over the quote unquote devil. I don't know whether or not you're calling Kamala Harris a devil. I don't know whether or not there was a subtle agenda that was being able to propel her to the forefront. I don't know what it is. But this was the language that was being spoke of. This is the posture that persons have taken. This is the celebration that persons have now, given the fact that there are conservatives at the forefront. Is that going to change anything? Let's talk about it, guys. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, anywhere for the family of violence, 242-300-5720. Hit me up, 422-4796, or you can be able to, yeah, that's all the numbers. This quick break, going to be right back after this.
The foundation. Foundation.
The Foundation with Howard Grant. We'll be back right after this.
The foundation.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Common Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Great news! Ron's Electric Motors' new location on Cowpen Road, right next to Island Luck, is open Saturdays and Sundays. So for those needing repairs on electric motors, generators, welding machines, water pumps, battery chargers, electric lifts, transformers, Ron's Cowpen Road location can have you up and running on weekends. Don't forget, you can still visit Ron's Electric Motors on Wolf Road and Claridge Road, and now Ron's new location on Cowpen Road. Dial 356-0249 or 323-5267.
Always on the go? Missed a show? You can now listen to Guardian Radio talk shows anytime, anywhere on Spotify and YouTube by searching Guardian Radio 96.9 FM or by entering the name of your favorite show. You can also listen by logging on to GuardianTalkRadio.com and clicking on the podcast tab. Guardian Radio, continuing to provide you with fresh news and smart talk anywhere, anytime, all day.
Love the show? Want to give your support? Become a sponsor today. Call 302-2300 for our rates and packages. That's 302-2300. Become a sponsor on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, talk all day.
Foundation. Foundation. The foundation. The foundation.
And we are back. Ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM radio, Howard Grant in your company, the foundation, live and in full effect. The lines are wide open. If you want to be a part of that, please hit me up, 323-6232, 325-431-6325, 4259, anywhere for the Family of Violence, 242-300-5720. Hit me up, 422-4796. Call on the line with us live. Go ahead.
Good day.
Hey, what's happening, my brother?
Oh, boy, Howard. You deal with appeals all the time. Here in the Bahamas, we try to keep much dignity as possible. They say it's the center of the world, right? This is where God lives. And our traditions and morals are centered around Christian values, which seemingly are the safest and most wholesome values of any religion. Mm-hmm. So when you have somebody who is raised from the soil, who has been taught and instilled with these values, go completely against it, it's just almost an offense to everyone who's come before you. Even though you have went around the world and put the country on the world stage, you did things for the country that nobody could ever. It's immeasurable. But just the mere, I wouldn't say disrespect, but the effort that when people travel to the Bahamas or when they send their children here for school, people from all over the world come here to educate their children. Mm-hmm. The only thing we don't have any money, Howard. We don't have anything uniquely cultural about us. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have the sun, sea, cum salad. But the dignity that we hold as Bahamians, that we can all agree to, hey, this is wrong, even though the world is doing it. We agree as a nation that this is wrong. When you have somebody on the world stage to come and completely oppose that, is a problem. Mm. And this is just the beginning. Because now, there's a new generation.
But this didn't start with her. This didn't start with her.
No, I'm just saying. Okay. It continues with her. That's the point. It continues. There's no definite stand by any major spokesperson, celebrity, somebody in the public to say, hey, this is wrong, this is right. But this is the problem. The generations coming up are now going to equate or make a connection between success and wealth with this type of lifestyle. Mm. Not all, but they're going to say, hey, this person is, and this person too, and this is my people. So that's where the danger lies. Because us as parents, you have children, Howard, I have children. We can't reach that level. We don't have the type of money. So they can say, who has the status that I could, and boom. That's where the problem lies. Like, something that we can't control in our home.
Wow. I appreciate you. Thank you, man. I appreciate your telephone call. I can read this right here and see exactly what Jonquil said at just 242, Jonquil Jones, just 242. She said that the problem is y'all want to uphold your version of Christianity and the sanctity of the country when it comes to people living their truth. Y'all cool with cheating, overindulging in drinking, or whatever else it is. As long as y'all can be homophobic, everything else is cool, right? This is heavy. This is a double standard that exists in this country, that you are content with cheating, content with sweethearting, content with all these sins, that there's an equilibrium from a sin standpoint. If we're looking at it through the lens of our religion, through the lens of our faith, and through the eyes of the Bible that many of us would have grown up off on. If you look at it from that particular perspective, Jonquil's right. All of us have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. She's absolutely correct. But how is it that we as a nation of so many alcoholics, so many cheaters, so many thieves, many murderers, how we as a nation can condemn her for being able to take on this position simply because she introduced you to someone that she loves? I don't remember y'all getting up and out for Stephen Gardner when he's taken on his particular position from an international standpoint, and even got backing and support, donors to support him in those particular steps. Y'all ain't say nothing about that. I don't remember the outrage, but how dare Jonquil bring a woman around here talking about fiancé? What's she talking about? You cuss the woman. You cuss her. Many persons. Now, there are some people who identify it, accept it, it is what it is, and keep moving. But there are some persons expect you to be able to live in the light that we see you, that we envision you, that we imagine you. We imagine you ascending to such significant heights in this country. And now, for us to be able to encourage our children, many of them who got the same telephone in their hand, same international exposure, whether or not it's Jonquil Jones or some other lesbian within the WNBA, or some homosexual in the NBA, or some homosexual rapper, or so these things exist, and people ingesting this regular. You have a steady diet of entertainment who live alternative lifestyles. And you ain't saying nothing but that. But oh God, when you come home and we got proximity to her, we got to cuss her. Let's talk about that. Telephone line, call on the line, go ahead.
Harvard.
What's happening?
Boy, I tell you, what can I say? We have heard a horrible story about pastors and those in high places, and we still sit under them.
Mm-hmm. You ain't moved yet.
We ain't moved from one of them yet. We still
some of them is called their pastor
they say
a thief and still go to church.
You understand? I heard one man from the member of Long Island say.
Hold on now. You ain't gonna call no name on the show, eh?
No, I ain't calling no name.
Okay, be decent. Go ahead.
I ain't calling no name.
Let me hear what you got to say.
So he said that crime is outrageous. You understand? So everybody trying to justify, but if they know what if this woman was or whoever she is, stuff like that, well, they had a choice. So if she always got to hide and put whoever she choose to be, it's between her and God will hold her accountable. And that's what it is. So if she hide and keep on hiding, no, you can't come to this place because these people go like this. And
Jonquil don't have to come back
who
here.
these people is here.
She done tell you that in so many words.
She know
Take
them.
some of me or don't take none of me.
That's all.
I straight.
She didn't ask nobody to hold no this for that or the next thing. They choose to. So in other words, she's supposed to tell her person, listen here, don't come behind me. But she being a hypocrite also. If you can do show yourself what wrong is about. But man, everybody choose like they want to slice this woman right up in pieces.
Yeah.
I've been reminded of the woman who committed the adultery. But because God knows exactly all these scallybags was,
He sit down, he write in the
on the
stone.
ground, tell him, okay, you
Boy, I will know what he write.
You all to do this, but I want you all, if you all have any sin, do it. We're not trying to justify things.
No.
Because if a person do something wrong, we know it's wrong. But man, come on. We know what's going on in this little town, man, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But everybody won't be holy on a Friday, holy on a on a Saturday, and then on Monday, Tuesday, everybody playing the hypocrite and this and next thing. Man, if the woman chooses to do whatever she want to do, that's up to her.
My God. I appreciate
Okay,
your telephone
thank
call,
you.
my brother. Thank you so very kindly for that. Let me take the next one. Call on the line. Go ahead.
Hey, Howard.
What's up, my dear?
Right here, man, you take the words right out of my mouth. He who is without sin cast the first stone. Why do we see? I don't like the lifestyle either, but I don't hate the person. And listen, Jonquil Jones, I'm a Bahamian. I can say it like Trey. I'm a Bahamian. I'm from the Bahamas. And so you are very much welcome back here. You and whomever you choose to bring.
Mm-hmm.
You're not in my house doing it. Do you and be happy, my love.
Hold on. Yeah. You'll be able to do something. Once I can't see you doing it, you do it. That's fine. I do it. You're something else.
You know why? Because, Howard, I'm not sin-free.
No.
Excuse me. I'm not sin-free, so I am not going to throw stones.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to say, if anything, if I have an opportunity to pull her aside and say, love, listen, this is what God loves you. We love you. This is how, how we was brought up? Okay, this is how we are. You know this how we are. Say it to her face, not behind her back. We love what she has done, and I would love to see her come back here. Like how she said she want to bring her team here for practice and whatever. Bring them on. We welcome you to be a part of our 4.5 million tourists.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, what 4.5?
You understand me?
Hold on. What 4.5?
No. I just put out there. I know.
10 million.
I know the number's much higher.
It could be 15
But I'm
in a
just saying.
minute. Okay, praise God.
Excuse me.
I appreciate you, God.
We love her here. Come back, please.
I appreciate your telephone call, my dear. Thank you so very kindly for that. Ladies and gentlemen, let me take this quick commercial break. When we get back, we can continue talking like this. I want to tell you a little story. I had a conversation with my daughter. And, it's going to be a little hard to swallow. Y'all going to cuss me. But, I got a reason why I say these things to my daughter. I love her. She cussed me. She said, Daddy, why would you even say something like this to me? When we get back, we can talk about it after this.
The foundation. Foundation.
The Foundation. We'll be back right after this.
The foundation. The foundation.
At Popeyes, we put love in our chicken by marinating it for 12 hours. For a limited time, head on over to Popeyes and purchase 5 pieces of our famous Louisiana bone-in chicken for just $10. A taste of Popeyes without going over budget by adding on a signature side. Popeyes, that crazy price we love.
Love that chicken from Popeyes. It's the season of joy, unity, and celebration. Join us on Saturday, December 7th at the Government House grounds for The Inclusion. It's a Christmas holiday fair. Fun for the whole family, Jolly Wonderland Playground, bingo, domino tournaments, carnival games, and even the Santa vs. Grinch boxing match. At 6 p.m., the TNC kicks off with live DJs like DJ Chris, DJ Humble, and more bringing the vibes. Enjoy native dishes, tree lighting, drama, and live performances celebrating unity in the Bahamas. Admission is free. Experience the magic of the season. Inclusion, moving towards an inclusive Bahamas.
Standard Services on Shirley Street, your everything Christmas store, has the perfect gifts just for you. Now until December 24th, you can get 5 to 50% off everything in store, plus 20% off Christmas lights, 25% off artificial Christmas trees, Christmas decorations, and Standard Services just around the block with everything in stock. They have everything you need to keep everyone happy this Christmas season. Get the perfect gifts plus 5 to 50% off everything at Standard Services on Shirley Street, your everything Christmas store. Open Sunday, December 22nd. This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
The foundation.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant in your company. We're just talking about the hypocrisy that exists in our society, the two-tone, double-tongue slit approach that we have as we continue to be able to lust in our hearts and be able to articulate those, those words of God to make you feel one way or another. I feel like this is a game. Right? I feel like this is a game, right? For me, Howard Grant, I struggled with some things over the years, and we ain't dead. Grammy say you ain't past that until you're dead, right? Sometimes you say, well, that'll never happen to me. Grammy say, baby, you ain't dead. You ain't past that until you're dead. Just ask for grace, ask for God, and so on. And through my struggles, I always... And this is me. I don't know how you just do this. I don't know how you do this to yourself. I don't know. I don't know without supremacy, without the acknowledgement, without a connection to something above you, without being able to have a space to kind of unload, right? Now, I don't know whether or not you do this with your therapist. I don't know whether or not you do this with your friend or your husband or your wife or whatever the case may be, your person, whoever it is. I don't know. I don't know whether or not you just kind of dump your tribulation on them, your issues that you go. I don't do that. I don't talk to my wife about my issues. I don't, because she seeks to try to fix it. I don't want her to fix my issues. I didn't ask her to fix it. I just want to talk about it. I just want to talk about it. In fact, while I'm talking about it, I can hear a solution in my conversation. As I talk about it, I try to be able to justify these things and say, maybe this is why this happened to myself. I didn't ask her to help, so I don't say anything to her about it. I keep it to myself. And then I pray about it. And so I pray aloud, and then I hear myself, and then an answer. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do, which I feel like is an extremely exhausting thing. If you don't have some place to put these issues, I don't know how you do your thing. But this is me. So let me tell you about my story. Now, I see y'all callers on the line. You want me to come to the line first, or you want to hear the story? Okay, sound like you say you want to hear the story. Let me hear the story. Okay, listen, quickly. My daughter and I, and y'all going to fight me for this, but we can get to, we can go through turbulence, but then we can get to another side. My daughter in the car with me, in the truck, I drop her to school the other morning. I love my daughter so bad, you have no idea. I just get angry when she does things that I feel like goes contrary to some stuff. And so I saw this attractive young lady at the gas station in the car listening to Christian music, and she had her kids in the back and so forth and so on. And I just get this kind of a vibe, right? I said, this woman must be a single woman, right? Now, she didn't have to be, but I saw that. And then I said, as she's listening to this music and being able to edify her children with this, and she has a good posture and so forth and so on, I saw that. And then I said to myself, single mothers must have it really hard. I talked to my wife, myself. I started off talking to myself. And then I turned over, because I put in gas in the car, dropping her to school. So I said to her, I said, baby, I love you very much. I don't want you to be a single mother. She said, oh my God, Daddy. Oh my God, Daddy. Why do you say things like this? Why do you, I said, baby, no, I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean like, I think you can be a single mother. She said, why would you say something like that? I said, no. I don't mean it like that. I don't mean it like that. I said, let me explain to you. In this generation, right? Now I can tell you, in this generation, I said progressively over the past 20 years, over the past 30 years, I've watched the language of women change. Me not talking now. I drive into school. I said, I've watched the language of women change, right? I said, from I was young, I could see independence being able to take hold of women, and they're gaining strength and position. And the older generation, which is their mothers, speaking into them, saying to them, you can do anything, you can do anything. You don't need a man to be able to find your strength. You can do anything. And I said, that sort of strength translated, no man wants that. She said, Daddy, what you make? I said, no, just listen to me. No man cares how much money you make. They do not care about that. They do not care about how smart you are. Not that you shouldn't be, not that you shouldn't pursue these things. Men need respect. I said, and the issues that your mother and I have is because her strong position and my strong position, and that shouldn't never be. I said, me talking, me and my daughter talking, and I saying, the issues that I believe that will happen and amplify in the future is that women are going to find their strength and their position, but simultaneously still want to be able to have this social position to say that, oh, I'm married, or I have a husband, or I have this, or I have that, right? I say the difficulty you're going to have with that is that there's no man that I know of that exists in this kind of a space that we live in. Unless it's Stedman, there's no man, no matter how successful you are, is going to be subservient. That's not what we're called to do. That's not our DNA. That's not our makeup. That's not who we are. And if those men exist, but there is a lion inside of them seeking to find a way out of this cage, this conditioned cage. Men are not designed for this. We are alpha males. We are strong. We are masculine. We want to take on, many of us, I can't put all men in one bucket. Some of you all learn some funny things. I can't do that. But for the most part, for all of us who are sent to decent society, playing, contributing members of society, so forth and so on, for the majority of us, none of us want to feel subservient in our own place. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Not that we want the woman to feel that way, but this argument that you can't identify a vision and accept that this is the vision and the course for the family, I say this is going to lead to issues. I said, statistically, this is what the issues is. I talk to my daughter, right? I said, I've never imagined, I'm not saying that. I'm simply saying to you that you are very strong and vocal. This is what I saying to my daughter. I said, as I see this, I am afraid that a man won't be able to accept this, or there will be an issue. She said, yeah, but Daddy. I said, no, I'm just simply saying, I said, this is who you are now, but with time comes maturity. And so I expect different things from you. Now, I tell you that story to say that a lot of us are not as honest as we should be with what we see in our society. There are some issues that exist in our society. We are a broken family. We are broken. We are scattered to and fro. There are vagabonds among us that live right here in Nassau that have been rejected, that we see on a day-to-day basis. They are outside of society. These are people who we have fifth grade, and they can't read. We've given them social promotion, allow them to be able to get up and these things like that, but they can't function in society. From a societal standpoint, they don't know how to function. They still want love. They still can procreate. They can still do these things. But these people are broken. There's no space in our society to fix these things. But the only thing that we hide behind, in my view, humbly, is the Bible. A book that many of us don't even read, that we don't understand, and that we don't even have the interpretation of. And the idea that we're Christian, and the glance in our minds, watch me, that hopefully before we say our last breath, after we then drink 16, 28, 45 years of rum, my God, before my last, I could say, God, forgive me. And you could walk into one of the 12 gates of heaven. I don't know. This don't make no sense to me. This don't make no sense to me. This is the stupidness that we teach ourselves. This is stupid. That no one seeks to live in righteousness. That no one seeks to be able to follow this narrow road unless and until it's convenient for you. John Quell has taken on this position. She's decided to be cold. There's only two people that can be used from a Word of God standpoint. You could either be hot or you could be cold. And either of those persons can be used for the glory of God. But the lukewarm, that's our society. Those persons who take on this kind of position where they understand what it is to be hot, but they're living in this kind of a cold, this lukewarm space, you will be spewed out. I just want to be decent with you. It's 1 o'clock. This lukewarm space, you will be spewed out. I want to talk to y'all like this. I like this kind of a heart-to-heart that we have. I tell you a little bit about my business. I know y'all call and tell me some stuff. But I'm sure that it's helping other persons to build and to grow. We're going to take this quick break for news and be right back after this.
Foundation. The foundation. The foundation. The foundation. Foundation. The foundation.
The Foundation with Howard Grant. We'll be back right after this.
The foundation. The foundation. The foundation.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM.
Foundation. Foundation. The foundation. The foundation.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant and your company, The Foundation, live and in full effect on this beautiful day. The lines are wide open. We're just talking where we are. We're just talking whether or not we're hypocrites. We're just talking and just trying to be able to find out this thing. Now, is this sort of a salute and open arms, the acceptance? Well, I don't necessarily adhere to that lifestyle. I don't. LGBTQ. That's just not what my faith is. That's not what I believe in. Productivity. I believe in family. I really do. And this is what I teach my kids. That's why Gabriel could tell you at the age of 5, he can have 7 children and a wife. This is what I've seen my entire life. All my uncles married. All my daddy all married. Everybody married. That's all I know. And so I know this to be family. And I know that this sort of an environment was conducive to an idea of being able to see growth and development. And even though I would be able to make this kind of determination when I was younger, that I think my daddy did it wrong in this area. Now, I never ran away from the fact that I wanted to get married. I just said, when I get married, I'd make a different decision. When I get married, I don't think I can spank my child. First time I spanked my child, I cried. He did something he know he shouldn't do. I spank him. But I instantly went back to when I was like PTSD or something. I went back to when I was a child. And I remember getting beaten for things as a child. Well, shake that. I got to cut these shirt behind. Let's shake that. Let's get over that. No. Because the children, they push your buttons. And so I say that to say I don't necessarily agree with this lifestyle. I want my grandchildren. I want productivity. I want us to align with the faith that we carry, the name that we carry, the umbrella that we have over us in God. I want that. But at the same time, I'm not here to condemn nobody and cuss them to death. I can't do that. I can't do that. That don't make sense. Telephone call.
Howard, what's happening?
All is well, man. What's happening with you?
Why you going to tell your daughter what you tell her, man?
I love my daughter.
That's good. But listen, this GNN, man.
What you say?
What amazes me, right, is we always come on the show, some of us, and they tell Bahamians to take the emotions out of it.
Mm-hmm.
In a court of law, you could go cry, you can roll around in the day, but you want the judge and the magistrate is only going to interpret what the law is.
Mm-hmm.
I have never heard since this incident, no Bahamian said they didn't like John Quell Jones, they didn't appreciate her and her accomplishments.
Mm-hmm.
But what we must recognize is that you can't go in Russia and smoke a joint and stand up in the road. You're going to get locked up. You can't go in China or Estonia and them places do certain things. What she did when she went to the school by introducing her friend or her wife, she crossed the line, the Bahamian line. That is all. Those school children are neutral.
What you call it? The Bahamian line? I
She
got to
crossed the red line, like Uth said. She crossed the Bahamian red line.
I like this.
In other words, she broke the law.
A sacred
and
law.
I will explain. Because in the Bahamas, marriages, same-sex marriages, are not recognized. That is against the law. That is all we're saying. If you're going to come do your junk canoe, do whatever, but your private business, like the prior callers said, even although they was mixing them, they said like gong salad, don't do it in my house. In this house, this is the Bahamians' house. The Bahamas is our house. And there's certain things you can do in America that you are not permitted to do here. So take the emotions out of it before you'll call the talk shows and think about what we are saying. Yes, we do love her. Yes, we want her to come back. She's a Bahamian. But that's a no-no.
But she presented emotion. She said, look, you take some of me, or you can't take some of me. You got to take all of me or none of me. She
Howard,
presented the emotion.
Howard, we don't like murderers and what they do either. So if we have a choice to take all of the murderer or none of the murderer, we can take none.
My God.
So if she can't
What
come
about
and
the
abide by
sweethearters?
our rules in our house, then sayonara.
My God. What about the sweethearters before you go? We taking some of them or we can leave them too?
Yeah, but see, what you got to realize,
Hold on,
that's
let me-
in my house. Yes, wrong, my house. That's not in the American house. That's what I do inside my house around my business, and what you do with your woman folk or your man folk, that's your business. I don't need to know that. So you don't need to know about my sweetheart. All you need to know, I come here to celebrate my victory and my MVP, and me and my friends, we celebrate together. The rest of that stuff, our time, my business. And it's certainly not our children's business in a neutral environment. Schools are neutral.
Yeah.
That's why everybody got the same uniform, and this you can't tell the difference. You ain't see nobody mixing R.M. Bailey with C.H. Reeves' uniform. So what she did was a no-no, and it's time Bahamians learn, not because of who you are or what you have, that we tell people what it is. You're wrong. And she was wrong for that.
And wrong is wrong.
Thank you very kindly.
Thank you, my
for
brother.
taking
I
my
appreciate
call.
your telephone call. Appreciate that. When I see it like that, and I listen to these telephone calls, and I listen to the strong position that persons take, the Bahamian red line. What's also sacred is sweethearting. Oh God, y'all don't want to talk about sweethearting. Not until you dead, and then your wife and your woman fighting in the church hall. Yeah, you don't want to talk about that. You don't want to talk about that. Y'all don't want me to be real with y'all, My wife and I had this kind of a conversation when we first got married. Before we got married, we couldn't have been married for 2 months yet. And conditioning has a way of being able to speak to your mind, to say that this is what the expectations are in the future. I grew up with no in society. You go to the barber shops, you listen to your granddaddy them, you listen to all these particular persons when they around Grammy them, and when they around, when the women aren't around, they're having different kind of conversations. They're talking about some things. They're talking about some little sweet thing in the can, and boy, you see this, and so forth and so on. They're having different conversations. That has a way of being able to condition the mind of a young man. This is almost accepted. This is almost expected in our society, that you get one little sweet thing in the can. This is what society has become. Then we justify it with David, and then we justify it through science. Well, if David had a tree... if David had 300 wives and concubines and so forth and so on, then they find themselves in this kind of position where they justify these things. That's not going to happen. And then they try to justify it through science. And they say, well, it's more woman than man. So, technically you ain't really cheating. And Jesus wouldn't want a woman to be lonely, eh? But we find all these things to do. Let's keep talking, guys. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, anywhere from the family of violence, 242-300-5720. Hit me up, 422-4796. Call on the line. Go ahead.
Hey, Howard.
Hey, baby, what's
Calling
up?
back.
What'd you say?
I listened to what GNN said, and I do appreciate his point. And I kind of agree with what he is saying. Saying that, I didn't know, I wasn't there, so I didn't know that is the extent in which she did it. You understand?
Now, but you all have to realize something. She has been conditioned by the media in the United States of America. The media in America says Jonquil and her fiance. The media, everywhere she go, introduces her fiance. They say her fiance. And so...
Understandable, but still, when she came here, like you say, she grew up here. So she knows how Bahamians feel about a situation like that. So if that's the way she did it, I do understand why persons are saying what they are saying.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
She introduced
her
to school.
Like it would have been better said to her face. You understand? Because like that, she can take it however she so feels. But to say it openly, I would rather still approach a person. I believe in a personal approach. If I have something to say to you, I want to say something to Howard Grant, I'm going to find you
and say it directly.
I'm going to pull you aside.
I would you. I say it directly. I would you.
Yes, and then I would say to you, listen, and I would whisper it because I don't want anybody else to repeat what I say.
Yeah,
so I'm going to say, this is this. You know your home. You know how mama them is.
Mm-hmm.
You understand me? Yes, that's your friend. If you say, okay, hi guys, this is my friend, I can understand you saying that. But to the extent in which you introduce her as your wife, you know that
fiance. She ain't married the woman yet. Fiance. Jesus.
You understand me? However, that same little statement there is where you went above and beyond. So, we would like for you to remember we are still grooming our children.
Mm-hmm.
And we want them, yes, they can have an open mind, but you grow up here, where they are now here. We don't want them to think that that's a good thing.
But our children reading and watching these things more than us. Everything.
They are. They are watching it.
Even the remake of these old cartoons we watching have some element of LGBTQ in it. Everything. We have to go through and say, hold on, I don't want my children to watch. No. I don't think this one is good for the baby. Everything.
Exactly. This is why today, I grew up in Sesame Street. I am now seeing stuff on Sesame Street that wasn't there before.
Ernie and Bert was in a relationship the entire time. This is what came out.
What we call Robert Ducky, I didn't know what
this
that
is
was.
what they said. This is most recently the revelation that came from Sesame Street. I can pull up the story so you can be able to read that, so we can be able to see that. Okay? And this is unfortunate. I appreciate your telephone call, my dear. This is unfortunate. Everything has some innuendo, some implication. Why? Why we just can't chill out? Why we just can't just be? And I understand what Jonquil did. She can take it. I believe that her responsibility is to be able to push the media. That's what she's going to do. And I think that's why she's taken in that strong position. She's not one of those persons that in the obituary can say special friend. She's going to be able to push the envelope and be able to talk to this. Let me take a next telephone call. Call on the line. Go ahead. Next call. Call on the line. Go ahead.
Howard, how you doing?
Good, man. What's happening?
Oh, you gotta let them people get away with that just now, man.
What's that?
Hey, listen, man. First and foremost, they invite the woman here, man.
Yeah.
The woman was in New York. They had a float parade in New York.
Yeah.
You all feel that she is Bahamian, and you all wanted to do something for the lady.
And then paint the building on the side of the thing.
You invite the woman here, man.
And you know what she was into.
You, the woman then on national TV, then engage and tell a story. You know this.
You know
now
this.
you as Bahamas feel that you want the woman to change her behavior because you feel that she should behave a certain way, right? The woman has to be authentic. Let me share something with you. The organizers I blame, because the organizers, they live here and they know some of y'all Bahamians is behave, and they ain't never been nowhere and see how the world is diverse. I mean, you understand that you need to stay that way. That's fine, stay that way. But when you invite that woman here,
you invite the whole woman.
The woman tell you she ain't hiding her relationship. You already know this man, right? She should know how to behave. What the hell are you talking about? Don't invite me, right? You sent me to you set up all of the events for the lady to go to. If you ain't want around that church and you know these crazy people go some of them,
you shouldn't have set it up.
Don't set it up. Have the parade and one little fanfare, a rally, and call it that.
Was the Ministry of Tourism responsible for that?
Howard, this thing go with sense, man. I think the Ministry of Youth, you sell accomplishment. To be authentic, the first thing she can do is thank everybody who is responsible for her accomplishment.
And the one she loved.
And that's it. And I don't condone that type of behavior.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't call it behavior. I don't condone. But I respect people. Right? That's how you respect the person who's scheming and who corrupt in this country. You respect them and you praise them. You just show respect. Because you talk about celebrating somebody and then, we can celebrate, but see, I behave herself. What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, you can.
Don't invite her. Don't do it. Don't do it. That's it.
I appreciate your call, my brother. Thank you so much for that, all right? Let me take a next telephone call before we get on the break. Caller, go ahead.
Hey, Owen.
Hey, what's up, Anton?
How you doing?
All is well, man. What's up?
All right, good afternoon to the nation. Interesting topic. Three, 4 quick points, Howard. Note that no official of the government nor the opposition has addressed this matter. That's throwing in the public domain. You know that?
Of course not. The Prime Minister's already taking pictures with her. What they can say?
The Prime Minister hasn't uttered a word regards to it.
No.
No member of Parliament or Cabinet Minister, nor has the opposition. What does that tell you, Howard?
Oh, they comply. They content with it. They ain't gonna say nothing. Yeah, they can do it. They're not gonna say anything.
Do you remember what happened? Do you remember what happened a few months ago, early in the year, with the person from the LGBTQ community at the club?
No, it was at University of the Bahamas when he stood up and he actually said that.
No.
Okay, well, this was.
I'm
different.
saying, do you remember what happened? Who was of the trans community?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember the embassy, the U.S. embassy, stepping in regards to that?
Yes, I do.
Do you remember the response from our Minister of Tourism, Deputy Prime Minister, and Prime Minister?
What was the response? Remind the nation.
And I was so clear with you.
Go ahead.
Do you remember the response? I was so I can go on quickly.
Go ahead. I remember the response, but everybody might need a refresher.
Okay, well, you can do that with the time that you have. And then, and moving on to the next point, Howard. Of course, John Carl Jones is an adult, right, Howard?
Yeah.
She's entitled to live her life how she so pleases, right? And however, when you come into a country and you know that the locals are of a certain thinking, you should expect the reaction that you would have gotten.
When in Rome, essentially what you're saying, when in Rome.
You would expect that while you have a right to live your life, you would also expect persons have a right to respond, whether positively or negatively. And that's the way of democracy.
Yeah. Yeah.
The foundation.
Anton. Anyway, they let you go on, Anton. Let me get this quick commercial break and be right back after this.
The foundation.
The Foundation with Howard Grant. We'll be back right after this.
The foundation. The foundation.
This November, the Nassau Guardian is celebrating 180 years. And we want to thank you, our loyal readers, for helping to make this one of the oldest newspapers in the region. We want you to be a part of our Vision Challenge giveaway promotion. Beginning October 28th, to do is find the hidden Nassau Guardian 180 Years logo printed every day in the Nassau Guardian newspaper, and you could win prize money. Just purchase your daily Nassau Guardian newspaper every day, beginning Monday, October 28th. Find the 180th Nassau Guardian logo, cut out the page, mark the spot, write your name and phone number on that clipping, drop off your entries at our offices on Carter Street in Oakesfield, and every Friday, November 1st, November 8th, November 15th, and November 22nd, one drawing will take place. It's that simple.
You try to rest, but roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers, for window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it. Just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Everything is bigger and better at Burger King Nassau. When you have a big appetite, BK has a royal deal for you. Get a flame grilled double Big King Jr. or an original chicken sandwich plus 4 chicken nuggets, small fries, a drink, and a fresh baked cookie for only $9.95, including that. The royal deal was built for a big appetite, and at $9.95, including that, it's a steal of a deal. Go big and enjoy the BK flavors you love with the $9.95 royal deal at Burger King Nassau.
Janae's Christmas Wonderland is open under the Big Tent. Get 20 to 50% off selected Christmas decorations. Restrictions apply. Trees in pink, frosted green or white in a variety of sizes. LED and laser lights, a large variety of tree ornaments. Lighted angels, Santa tree toppers, bright and lively colored Christmas balls, garlands, wreaths, red and white stringed cranberry, tree skirts, stockings, and lots more. Add flowers, picks, and decorative mesh to brighten up your home or office this holiday season. And don't forget the toys at Janae's Chesapeake Road. Instagram at Janae's Summit. WhatsApp 817-3295. This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Foundation. Foundation. The foundation. The foundation.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM radio. It says, no, Ernie and Bert from Sesame Street were best friends, according to Sesame Street Workshop. However, a former writer of the show, Mark Saltzman, said that he considered the two to be a gay couple. This is what he said. He said, Saltzman based their relationship on his own with his partner, Arnold Glassman. So essentially, it may not necessarily be articulated. However, the fruit, my God, the fruit is evident. Let's talk like this, guys. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Anywhere for the family violence, 242-300-5720. Hit me up, 422-4796. Let me see if I can read two of these texts before we get in here. I must be able to talk about this. So it says, good afternoon, Howard. You're a well-spoken man, so how can we, along with the Americans, adjudicate for the filmmakers to make it mandatory for movies to have ratings, ones with gay scenes and straight scenes, because just how the gays want their rights, I want mine to be given. Where are we? Hold on. I open it up. The gays have their rights. I want mine to be given to give people a choice of what they want to see. Just don't impose your lifestyle on me. Okay, so each film I watch, whether it's Netflix, whatever it is, they have a rating. There's a rating system. PG-13, G rating, rated R, or which rated C here in the country. There is a rating system associated with that. And then Netflix goes a little bit further. It says 16 plus, and then it says to have sexual content, nudity, violence, so forth and so on. I don't know if there's going to be any differentiation when it comes to sexual, anything of the sexual nature. I don't know whether or not they're going to differentiate that. Now, you and I, this is what I do. I must tell you. You hear me talking with Ian the other day on IPTV? I watch old movies. I watch movies that I know I can cut on with my children and they can be safe. I know that. I sit down and watch the Five Heartbeats the other day. I know this. I know this. I know where Donald Duck can take me. I know where these particular things are going to take me. Even with the Disney movies now, it has become so, my God, right after Big Six, the movies take a turn. They got very dark. I don't understand why. And so I pull back from watching those things. I can't watch them with my family. That don't make no sense. I have to make this determination as a parent. I have to make a determination what I want to be able to be in my house. I got to determine that. And I think all of us have to make that kind of a determination. But the issue that we have in this country is that our government hasn't determined whether or not we're going to accept this or reject this. Our governments, we've heard this language long time ago. When they went to the Vatican and they came back and there was an issue between and saying that we can't be able to change our position and being able to accept these particular, you don't forget to say, our governments have not decided whether or not we're going to be able to move. They are just, I don't want to call them prostitutes. I want to be decent. But because they're open to anything. If you got money, we are willing to play. What you need is to make modifications in this, we're willing to play. There's no conviction. There's no strength. From a leadership standpoint, I agree with the caller. You know what John Quill Jones stand for. My God, y'all didn't paint the side of the building with her. You didn't do all this, and after all of this was done, then you can cuss her out and say she shouldn't have do this. Well, why you didn't cuss the ministry for bringing her? The ministry knew what she was about. They had to buy 2 tickets, one for her and one for her fiance or whoever was in the crew. They had to buy that. You know the woman was coming. Now, y'all here cussing the woman. Don't put us in that position because you know how behaving people are. But it seems as though this agenda spilled into our society. Are we to accept this? Because money coming with this? Because exposure coming with this? Because this is the way of the world? Are we to accept this? Talk to me. These people live in our society. You got cousins who live an alternative lifestyle. You got cousins who are part of the LGBTQ. You got family. You got members of parliament who the fella called me, say, Howard, these people is code switches. Then he called a couple of names. I said, Jesus, this is too much, sir. You're giving me too much information. You got members of parliament in these particular light. They call me and tell me members of parliament are leaders. They got sweethearts. This exists in the top tier of leadership in our country. And that's why Anton could call and said, you hear anybody say anything but it, Howard? You think they can say anything but it, comment on that at all? No, I don't expect them to. I don't. Because they are in the position where they got to accept from all and sundry just to be able to put in the coffers of the country. That's crazy. That's crazy. We out here could have conviction and strength and say we don't want to do these things. But they in leadership who are supposed to be steering this ship towards growth, development, forward, upward, onward, and togetherness is making wild decisions. So who we can put it on? John Quill, who then tell the whole world who she is and ain't scared about it, or our ministry who bring that to our children? Let's talk about it. Let's take the next telephone call. Caller, go ahead.
Good day, Mr. Grant. How are you?
I'm good, man. What's happening?
And good afternoon to the nation. Mr. Grant, give me a second to make my point, please.
Go ahead.
Listen, Jesus said that he died for the sinners. He loved the sinners. Mm-hmm. Okay? He wanted the sinners to come to him. Mm-hmm. All right? But God said that sin he hates. Mm-hmm. Who are we to change the natural affection of what God has designed man to be as? All right? He designed the backside as an exit, not an entrance. So why are we violating the laws of God and trying to make an exit an entrance? Why is it that we, the people who are supposed to abide by the laws, the rules, and commands of our Lord, why is it that how can I pray? Okay, I can pray for a sweetheart. I could pray for a drunkard. I could pray for those who do all these other sins. But how do you pray for what God said he hates? God said that sin he hates. He hates that with a passion because you are now trying to convert the natural design of man into something different than what God. How you want me to pray for what God is saying He hates? I mean, if God hates it, I hate it. I love the young lady or young man, whatever she wants to go by. I love that person as an individual. But I hate, like God hates what she stands for. I hate what she stands for because my God said He hates what she stands for. So I hate it too. All right, but I don't hate her, but I hate the sin which God called an abomination. That is an abomination, and we are not to make excuses for it, because when we make excuses for it as a nation, then you are looking for a national judgment. All right, when you try to legalize or make something that God did not design for a nation, when you try to legalize that or license that, then you are now looking at a national judgment. You're not looking at an individual judgment. What she does on her own is her own. That's her own to do. You know, we don't mind. I can sit in a restaurant beside a gay person. I could sit in a show or a movie or wherever. I could live amongst a gay person. But do not try to impose what you stand for on me and my family. All right? That's where I draw the line. So God said He hated it. I hate it. But I love the individual. Thank you.
Where you live? Cause you live here in Nassau?
I live here in Nassau. Yes, sir.
Okay. I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you so very kindly. I just wanted to know exactly where that was. I was going to get deeper with questioning, but I said, let me leave that alone. I can read this text. I can read this text. I can read this. I'm going to read the text. You ready? Let's go. Say, we out here acting like we don't know long-serving cabinet ministers are of the same persuasion as John Quell. Go run for God. The government contract and your jobs can't be risked. This is a text that's coming through. I just want to be very clear with you. It's a text that's coming through. Howard, it is sickening. Howard, it is sickening how many intentionally, muddied the water. The matter at hand is how JJ, John Quell Jones, is putting her lifestyle before the public and our children and say, take it or leave it. But we want to throw every other sin and disgraceful act in the same basket and say, if you ain't speaking on them, you can't speak on the JJ matter. We have to start somewhere or nothing will be best. So let's start with this. Okay. I feel like this is, for you, this is low-hanging fruit. For you, this is the commonality that exists in this particular space. I don't necessarily see it like that. I don't see, I know from the Word of God standpoint that the only sin that's unforgivable is blasphemy against the Holy Spirit. That's what I know. The blasphemy against the Holy Spirit. The cursing of the Holy Spirit. That's all I know from a biblical standpoint. The only sin that's unforgivable. That all of us have sinned and fall short, and grace gives us access. Grace, vulnerability, being able to gives us access. So I don't know. I mean, you may condemn it in a strong manner, but sweethearting is the same thing. What's the difference? It's still a covenant. It's still a covenant. All is an abomination. It's wrong. And if we have these particular things that we know it and we're going against it, then what are we doing? What are we doing out here? What are we doing out here? John Quell Jones can't get in like the same way. When Peter see you at the gate, if you live and you die in this particular manner, she can't get in the same way you can't get in with your 5 woman. The same way you can't get in with your lies. The same way you can't get in with your taking drugs on a regular basis. Come on, man. Listen, I just want to be decent. I only want to be decent and look at all sides. Are we a hypocritical nation? Are you calling me saying I don't like sissies? But hold on. Wait. Don't touch my sweetheart, eh? She ain't in that. Let's talk, man. Let's be honest. Next telephone call. Caller, go ahead.
Hey, Howard.
Hey, what's up, Anton? Go ahead.
Right, okay, thank you.
You didn't finish your point.
Howard, we are conflating and confusing two very important separate issues, right? Howard, in a democracy, everyone is entitled to their respectful or disrespectful point of view, right? So long as you don't malign people's character or whatever the case may be. And so, as I started to say, while one is entitled to live their life, whether that's life that's in line with societal norms or outside of societal norms, one is entitled to do that. And on the other side of that coin, the other is also entitled to criticize if they so desire. That's the matter of democracy, right? And that shouldn't be confused. However, Howard, looking at this matter from the basis of tourism, right? Tourism in the Bahamas, Howard, I put it to you, will not survive as an industry if it is perceived by first world nations that at governmental levels there is a bias against accepting adults' freedoms of choice to live their life the way they choose for those who choose to visit our shores. It will not survive. It will plummet into the deepest, darkest ends of tourism. I guarantee you that, Howard. And we saw an example of that, as I started to allude to, with the person in the trans community who was attacked in the club when the male gentleman realized that the person wasn't a female after all. That was a shock treatment for that individual, right? Moving on to my last point, Howard. There is religion. There's politics. You hear me? Can you hear me clearly, Howard?
Yes, go ahead.
There's religion, there's politics, and then there's children, minors in society, Howard, right? Morality represents something different under each of those headings. We don't have in our society a religious perspective, so you can't expect for everybody to fall under that one umbrella. From a political perspective, the politics of the nation is, as I started to say, foundationally based in democracy. Therefore, you can't expect for the politician, from a morality perspective, to seek to prevent persons from living their lives. However, we have to draw the line, Howard, and no politician, no government, nowhere in the world, except perhaps in a dictatorship, has the right to take parents' children or take guardians' children and expose them to this level or this degree of immorality in our society. No government. And so if one looks to put the blame out, one needs to question how was the decision made while the individuals are entitled to their life. They're not entitled to expose innocent, developing minors to that standard of life. Let those children come out of their own when they develop into a mature human being, a mature male or mature female. Wow. You don't expose them to that kind of stuff at such an early and tender age. Wow. Who made the decision for that tour to take place at the school? That's a serious consideration that the government needs to address moving forward, because like I said, Howard, bearing in mind, I'll land on this note, there is religion, there is democracy, and then there are minors in our country, and you have to separate and treat each differently. While you are entitled to live your life, if that's the life you choose, when you come into the public domain in an environment that lives a certain way with certain laws, you ought to conduct yourself a certain way, especially as of young children and minors. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, man. I do appreciate your phone call. Let me take. No, I think you're gonna break it. Gonna break? All right. Let me take a quick break, guys. I see a telephone calls coming through. What we do privately is one thing. When a nation stands up and condone what God is against, it's a whole other level. Pray for both of them, and the drunkard and the adulterer and the rapist and the abuser, the murderer. Pray for all of them, but their acts still should not be accepted. Quick break, gonna be right back after this.
Foundation. The foundation.
The Foundation. We'll be back right after this.
The foundation. The foundation. The foundation. The foundation.
Do you have uncontrollable debt? Are you ready to make that move to Fidelity for a stress-free future? These loans have a built-in savings plan that pays you unbeatable interest. Ask about our debt consolidation loans today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
The Grand Bahama News is available every Tuesday in the Nassau Guardian. You can buy your local paper at Freeport Convenience Stores, Western Bakery, DeGregory's Fine Foods, and Bellevue Gifts. Now is the time to reach your Grand Bahama market with affordable packages, including print and digital. Call GB News sales representative Kavandre at 822-6717 or message him on WhatsApp for ad rates. Classified ads are now available every Tuesday as well. Keep up with everything Grand Bahamian. Every Nassau Guardian.
The Water and Sewage Corporation advises customers in New Providence that the corporation is continuing its island-wide disconnection exercise. Customers who have not yet addressed their outstanding balances are requested to do so to avoid the disconnection of their water supply. Customers who have not yet honored their financial agreements and who have allowed their accounts to become delinquent are asked to visit the corporation and speak with a customer representative or call the corporation's call center at 302-5599.
It's the season of joy, unity, and celebration. Join us on Saturday, December 7th at the Government House grounds for The Inclusion. It's the Christmas holiday fair. Fun for the whole family, Jolly Wonderland playground, bingo, domino tournaments, carnival games, and even the Santa vs. Grinch boxing match. At 6 p.m., the TNCNs kicks off with live DJs like DJ Chris, DJ Humble, and more bringing the vibes. Enjoy native dishes, tree lighting, drama, and live performances celebrating unity in the Bahamas. Admission is free, so come and experience the magic of the season. Inclusion, moving towards an inclusive Bahamas.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Foundation. Foundation. The foundation.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, just talking about the morality of what we are and trying to strike balance with this conversation. I think a lot of us, no matter our position, have taken on a very strong position as it relates to what we've seen. The optics of the matter is poor, right? The optics of the matter is poor. And John Quest taking on this kind of position. Hey, you can't get some of me and not all of me. All of me in this position. I ain't living the Bahamas. I'm doing well in the United States of America. Taking good care of me. I'm winning things for them. I'm making my money. I don't have to bother with none of y'all again. Y'all call me. I didn't call y'all. Y'all call me. You know who I am. John Quill Jones is taking that position. Society is saying, John Quill, we celebrate you. We love you. But we cannot accept this foolishness, especially with the introduction of this kind of garbage to our children. This is where we're, the two rams meet. You're bucking heads on this. You're bucking heads, right? Do we accept it as a society? Is our society going to evolve to the acceptance of this in due time and due season? Maybe. Why do I say that? It's because I can remember growing up and it was, listen to me, any drugs was the devil. Especially dope, grass, weed. Now we have a conversation about legalization. When there's a global agenda afoot to ensure that there is money associated with it, like Anton just said. No government is going to take on a position to oppose, to reject, to leave. From Rosie O'Donnell was here. Look at the modifications that's happened. When those persons would have been out there and screaming at the boat and they don't want no gay cruise and this and that and the next thing and that. Now you got cruise day after day. And all sorts of things happening on there. I don't know whether or not we can police morality. I don't know. And I don't know whether or not we have the faith within our leadership in this country that says we're going to be okay, even if we don't take this particular business. So they take everything. They don't worry about those things. They leave that up to you. But their responsibility is to put money in the purse of the government. And that's the position that they've taken, this morality question. They ain't get into that. You don't get into that with your member of parliament. You don't ask him about that. Y'all don't ask them. Listen, how you feel about LGBTQ? Y'all don't ask them that. You vote for them. You ask them, look here, what you can get me straight. My daughter need a job. My son need a job. I need a job. I need this. I need that. I need these particular things. The community need this. Can you do this? Can you do that? You rarely ever get into those conversations as it relates to these particular things. Why? Because there are persons who, live this particular lifestyle and find victory. You don't question that. You leave that alone. But now, because it's amplified and in your face, you feel offended. Come on, man. Let's just be real out here. Let's be honest. If we can condemn it, let's condemn it straight across the board. Let's condemn it. Stephen Gardner has taken on a very strong position. There's no condemnation. You're all buying his shoes. You're buying all these things. You're listening to these people's music, all these things like that. Come on, man. Let's just be real out here. You ingesting this information relentlessly. You taking it in. You sucking it in all day. This is a part of your regiment. When John Quell show up, you can cuss out. Let's just talk, man. Let's be honest out here. I believe in all or none. What I believe, and not from a John Quell standpoint, I believe that if we can do this, this got to be for all persons that we identify going contrary. And just like Natina would have been able to say to the Prime Minister that this administration is the gayest, Latino, who's a part of the LGBTQ community, would have been able to say to our current Prime Minister that this administration is the gayest. I didn't say nothing about that. We laugh at that. You ain't ask who. You're content with the perception. You're content with or they present you with a husband, but you don't ask anything further than that. You're content with the perception, with the idea. And if that idea shift, no matter the conviction that exists in their hearts, if the idea shift from an optical standpoint, that's where the problem come in. Well, that's crazy. That's bananas. That's crazy. Our society, Nassau just as big as the middle of my palm. In 8 Mile Rock, my cousin and I would take the car and ride around 8 Mile Rock on days when we ain't got nothing to do, having a drink. That's just as long as it take me to ride around Nassau without traffic. Nassau's only big as my palm. You don't know, you act like you don't know the business. You know. But we wouldn't dare talk about that. Let's leave that alone, Howard. Leave that one alone. What are we doing out here? Now, that one finger that we point at others, there are many pointing back at us. Because this is hypocritical. This is not an acceptance. This is not condemnation. This is an acknowledgement for us to change and raise a standard in our society. Let's take a next telephone call. Caller, go ahead. Caller, go ahead. Next caller. Caller, go ahead. Caller on the line, go ahead. Next caller. Caller on the line, go ahead. Go ahead, caller.
Howard.
Hey.
I called back because I am disappointed in you spinning the wrong narrative.
What's spinning?
Saying all them things you saying that we agree. But those things are happening around us every day. Yeah, we know we ain't got to invite John Quell Jones to come over here to be gay. Like everybody said, we got gays right here.
Yeah, we got gays right here.
The problem, Howard, is not our children. That's what we saying,
Yeah, but we got to row the officials who carry her.
No, because the officials call her in good faith. They ain't ever tell her when you reach the Bahamas, you could promote your gay style. They didn't know that was coming.
Of course they knew that was coming. John Quell is doing that on every major news outlet in the United States of America. She does the exact same thing. Yeah, but
then she don't make Kong salad and mix apples or anything. Will you say she'll do that?
It's a tropical
in the United States, Howard. That do happen here and not with our Bahamian children. That's what we saying. She can do what she wants. She go on top of the bridge and make love. Not with our children.
So for the American children, it's okay, but not our Bahamian children.
In America, you can't sing this in school. You can't do that in school. You can't say what your religion is. That's America, not in the Bahamas, Howard.
I ain't gonna fight you. I appreciate your telephone call, my brother.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate your telephone call. Let's see what the couple of these texts and see exactly what's what. All right. Hi, Howard. Oh God, I see. Okay, let me say. Hi, Howard. We are heading into Christmas season. These same Christians who are against gays are the same ones who are going to be under declaring what they purchase. they're going to be under-declaring what they purchased, denying the government of what is due to them, a.k.a. stealing from the government. We are a nation who are selective about their Christian standards. Tell them leave JJ alone and start with taking the rafters out of their own eyes. My God, this is Texas coming through, right? Any more calls? No more calls. Guys, this is me. Let me say, one more call. Let me take this call. Take this last call. Caller, go ahead. Caller, go ahead. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Brand.
Yes, ma'am?
Excellent show.
Thank you so much. Your phone breaking right up. You sound like a transformer.
Mr. Brand?
No, your phone breaking up. You got to call back. It sound water in your line.
Excellent show. Excellent show.
I can't hear what she's saying. I'm so sorry about that. If you could call me back on another line or on your cell phone, I'll take that call before we end the show, right? But I have this kind of position. I just want to be decent. I love John Quill. I really do. I love Buddy. I really do. Stephen Gardner, I'm very proud of him and what he's been doing for the country and all these things. I can't condemn anybody. I just can't. I can't condemn. I don't have that strength. I identify these things, and the most I can do with my strength is be able to encourage, inspire, and expose this to my children and make them to understand that this is going contrary to our convictions and our faith. I want to teach my children that we shouldn't live in a particular light. I said, for instance, if I have a row with my wife in front of her, in front of my children, yeah, because rows don't come. I don't know these people who's going in room and row. I don't know that. I rowing now. I hot today. Right now, we rowing. And if I'm wrong or if I'm right, I apologize to all of them. Yeah, because you can't see me in this particular light. Yeah, daddies get upset sometimes, but I want you to know I apologize about this. I just want to be balanced. I just want to be honest. I just want to be real. I don't want my children to be out here faking it. I don't want my children to be out here acting as though they're presenting you in a particular light. It's too much. We got to be able to make a consideration of who we are as a people. Let's get back to convictions and hold steadfast to that. Let's not be cherry picking what we consider abomination or sin. And let's get back on course. I want to thank you guys so much for being able to tune in today. Tomorrow, I think Garth is going to be joining me tomorrow in studio. He should be joining me. That's exactly what we're going to talk about that here on Guardian Radio 96.9, The Foundation. Have a beautiful day, guys. Thank you so much for your contribution. I'll see you tomorrow. God spare.
The Foundation. The Foundation. The Foundation.